Hey guys, following up from our last video on the CJ7, our firewall is done. We got the holes recut for our heater core and blower motor, and yeah, they're a little chewy. It's not my best work. You need probably a 1-inch drill bit for the blower motor connector and heater core holes, and you probably need a 3-inch hole saw for the blower motor itself. And I didn't have either of those, and I wasn't really going to spend the money to go out and buy those tools that I would only really use in this one instance. So I used the adjustable wrench of drill bits, which is a Dremel with a metal chewing bit. And, well, I did my best. And the Dremel I used is well used, so made the best with what I had. It's not pretty, but then again, the holes for the fenders aren't pretty from the factory. So we got those drilled, fit the heater box. I wound up having to egg out this hole for the blower motor or the heater box stud, and this one I started it too low, so I had to notch it out up there. Not the best, but again, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, and it is what it is. So that's done. I am missing the hole for the fourth battery bracket bolt, but I'm just going to drill that once I have the battery bracket on and test fit. So we had to do a little bit more modification from the inside. This section of the firewall had to get heated up and beat out a little bit, as well as right here, because it was hitting the heater box. It wasn't letting it sit flush against the firewall. I also had to come in and angle cut this flange where the quarter meets the upper cowl piece, because that was also hitting the heater box. And I mean, this flange here is probably twice as far out as it should be. So, but yeah, so we got that in. We did run into an issue here with our fender bolt holes. I'd have to look at the YJ tub I have outside. I feel like those holes are way bigger than they should be, but just going to be a bit of a interesting challenge when it comes to getting the fenders put on all the way. But I had a big bolt holding the top of the fender up, which I don't know if it's in here, but that's probably not. That bolt wound up was also hitting the heater box, so I took it out just for test fit purposes. But yeah, so now I got the heater core. It sits up pretty much all the way. The firewall's probably not 100% where it's supposed to be, so there's a little bit of rocking, but you know, it all sucks in easily once you put the nuts on. And having the fresh air duct, it lines up with the hole in the heater box. So as far as I'm concerned, that part of the firewall is done. And I mean, you could see again why we have to do our seam sealing. None of that is seam sealed, and it's supposed to be. So now we have all the holes drilled in the cowl that we're missing. We still have to tackle door latches and roll bar bolt holes, but we'll get to that when we get there. Coming around to the other side, we have our fuse panel hole fixed up, quote unquote. What I did was I had the 2 firewall pieces from the original CJ tub that had the 2 screw holes for the fuse block. And what I did was I stuck it in there, lined it up with this bolt hole. This bolt hole was a little off. I had drilled it in the wrong spot. So lined it up with this bolt hole and used this hole to make a plug weld. And then I burned it in with some boogers and some spot welds, and then went back through with the Dremel and smoothed it all out. So now this is the correct size hole for the fuse block. Now what I'm gonna do is I'll probably come in with some JB weld and I'll run that along here. That way it kind of smooths out everything and makes sure that it's a watertight seal. And I will do the same in here. So you can see that's the piece from the other firewall. So same thing around the, do a little hand swap. Around here, I'll also run the JB weld, just again, so I can avoid the potential for water to leak through. So, but yeah, I mean, not the best weld, not the prettiest holes, but they're functional, and that's really all that matters, at least in this situation. So let's actually, sorry for the loud noise. But let's go take a look. So for reference, again, there are the holes in the aftermarket tub. And now they look cheap. Now if we go out here, oh yeah, way smaller. So honestly, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go look online and see if you can buy those threaded pieces. Down door. I'm gonna go online and see if you can buy those little threaded tabs, because it looked like they were the holes in that YJ tub looked like they were the same size, but then they had these little threaded tabs on there. And really all these are, it's a piece of metal with 2 holes. One of them is for a spot weld and the other one is for the bolt hole. So I may go and see if I can buy those, because obviously I'll have to get in here and clean off the boogers from them just plasma cutting the hole out. But if I can get those threaded pieces, then I'll buy a whole bunch of them for the fenders and for the dashboard and everything. So that's that. Really the only thing that I have to do with this piece before it can go is try and get these reinforcement brackets off. That'll just be, you know, finding where they're spot welded and then get them out of there. But that's for another day, another weekend. And for now, I'll catch you guys later.